once again I'm going to be using my highly accurate luggage scale from Wish to find out how much my bike and kit weigh. And it weighs a total of... There are a couple of days out now from my next planned event, which is the Dales Divide. It's a 600 kilometre coast to coast and back again bike packing event that takes place in Yorkshire, England. It starts on Good Friday in a place called Arnside, and it heads east across the Yorkshire Dales, through York, and then across to Scarborough. You then go back the other way, across the North York Moors, and then back into the Dales to finish again in Arnside. I'm hoping to do the 600 kilometre route, but there is an option to divert in York and cut it short and take a 400 kilometre option. In this video, I'm going to run through my approach and what I'm looking forward to, and perhaps what I'm not quite looking forward to. I'm going to run through the kit I'm going to take and my bike setup, and show you a couple of new bits that I'm going to be testing out on this event. One of the things I'm looking forward to about the Dales Divide is that it takes place in England. So compared to my previous event, which was the Atlas Mountain Race, there's not quite as much travel involved. Although saying that, from the south coast, it is about a 6-hour drive. I'm looking forward to there being more resupply options and potentially options to escape, unlike at the Atlas Mountain Race where resupply was a bit few and far between. And handily with this event, the organisers provided a really good map which shows various options for cafes, shops, water and hotels. This has been really helpful for planning my strategy of where I might stop and get food, water and potentially sleep. One of the things I like to do at this event is be slightly more efficient, spend more time on the bike, less time faffing around. So that might be setting up and packing away my bivvy a bit quicker if I decide to sleep, or carrying enough food and water so I don't have to stop very often. In terms of my approach, I am taking my sleeping stuff, but there's potential that I won't go to sleep. And I've certainly done similar stints on a bike where I haven't slept in that sort of time period or distance. But I am going to take my sleeping stuff just in case I do feel really tired and want to get a quick kit. The other thing that might change my approach on whether I sleep or not is the course conditions, because in the UK it's been raining for pretty much 6 months solid. This might mean the course is really hard going and it might actually take me a lot longer to get to places than I'm currently expecting. I'll go through my kit in a minute, but one of the bulkier, heavier elements is my sleep system. And obviously if I got rid of that, I'd have a much lighter and less bulky pack on my bike, but at the same time that'll mean I'll risk not being able to find somewhere to sleep and keep warm. In addition to the resupply map the organisers provided, he's also provided a whole host of other information, which means anyone that's not taken part in an event like this before has a really good shot at getting round. This is similar to another event which takes place in May called the Southern Divide, an event I've also taken part in and made a video on before. This is really helpful in taking away a lot of the stress and worry which comes in preparing for an event, working out where you might stop for that all-important food and water, which makes the Dales Divide and the Southern Divide really good events to try if you've never done a bike packing event before. The main new bit of kit I'm going to try at this event is a Tailfin, which I've stolen off my wife. I've never used a Tailfin before, I've always used a saddle pack, so I'm interested in seeing the difference it makes. Whilst it's heavier than a saddle pack, it's definitely much more stable and probably going to sway less, and also hopefully is a bit easier to get stuff in and out of the pack without having to take it off the bike. As with a saddle pack, it will also double up as a helpful mudguard. The Tailfin pack itself can take up to 20 litres of stuff, so what I'm hoping is I have sufficient space where I can ram in some meal deals, Coca-Colas, chocolates, crisps, sweets, all those bits and pieces which mean you don't have to stop as often to resupply and can carry on going and be more efficient. After I've done the event, I'll let you know how I got on with the Tailfin and whether I preferred it to my current setup, which is an Apogura saddle pack. So now I've told you a little bit about the event, it's time to find out what kit I'm taking to get me round. So this is my proposed kit for the Dales Divide. Starting at the top, I've got my electronics, including 2 power banks. The red one will be for charging my phone, and the black one will be for charging my Garmin. I'm not taking my larger Anchor power bank because I'm not proposing to charge my exposure light, because it does last up to 36 hours, and if I'm still going after that time, I've probably taken too long and I'll probably get the train home. Taking a headlamp, which kind of acts as a backup light, but also handy for when I'm setting up camp if I decide to sleep somewhere. Then a selection of chargers, including the Anker MagSafe charger in case my phone port gets wet, spare GoPro battery, and my earbuds for some music in the middle of the night. Fuel wise, I've not got everything I'll be carrying. Nearer the time I'll be stocking up on things like Haribo, cereal bars, that type of thing. Enough to carry about 12 hours of fuel at any one time. I'll definitely be packing some carb mix, and I'm going to try this peanut butter, athletic peanut butter that I've recently discovered. And each of these little packs contains pretty much 600 calories, and they're flat, they can sit in my bag, and they taste different to the sugary stuff that I'll probably be mainly eating. In terms of first aid, I've got a pretty basic selection of dressings and cleansing wipes and some paracetamol. I'll take a bit of Sudocrem in case things get uncomfortable, and as you can see, some chamois cream. I'll probably dispense that into a slightly smaller pot so I'm not lugging around that larger bottle. I've got some antibacterial wipes, some tissues, some antibacterial gel, and a little mini toothbrush, but I have got to add some toothpaste to that little selection there. In terms of clothing, in addition to what I'll probably be wearing, and I'm expecting to be starting a long sleeve jersey, I'm going to take a short sleeve jersey, learning my lessons from the Atlas mountain race constantly being hot, although North Yorkshire might be a different story. Definitely taking some winter gloves, particularly for the night time in case it is really cold. These 4-season leg warmers from Spats, which are really warm and pretty much like wearing bib tights. Shoe covers to potentially keep my feet slightly dry, or if not, slightly warmer. One pair of spare socks, which I may use if my feet get wet, or use if I stop to sleep somewhere. I've not fully decided if I'm going to wear waterproof socks as yet. I kind of find they don't really work after a huge amount of time, and you get wet feet anyway. A merino buff to keep my neck and face warm, and a second buff which I can use if this one gets too damp, or if I decide to sleep somewhere I can put that over my head for an extra bit of warmth. And of course, being the UK, a waterproof jacket, which may come in very handy. Onto the spares and repairs. I've kind of tried to reduce this slightly from what I took round on the Atlas mountain race. Still going to take 2 inner tubes just in case. I've got my pump, obviously, with the tape wrapped around it, and cable ties in case I've got to bodge something. My little box of tricks that I kind of take everywhere that's got lots of various bits and bobs and puncture repair pieces, tyre boot, my Allen key set in there, which has also got a chain breaker, a lock in case I want to lock my bike up for a few minutes and grab some food somewhere and don't feel 100% that the bike's going to be safe, tyre levers and a quick link splitter, dyno plug, again to try and quickly sort out a puncture if one happens, little bottle of chain lube, a pocket spanner multi-tool thing which is mainly used to help take tubeless valves out, and some spare dyno plugs. I'm taking my summer weight sleeping bag because it's smaller and lighter, but I can pair it with my down jacket. That'll all be inside my bivvy bag and sleeping mat. And what I've done is I've pre-placed my sleeping mat inside the bivvy bag, so I can essentially roll it out when I find somewhere to sleep, pump up the mat, get the sleeping bag out, and be in bed pretty quickly. Because again, this event I want to try and reduce the amount of faff I have each day. Taking my eye mask and earplugs because I find I can get a better couple hours sleep with them than without. And a little inflatable pillow because I'm a big softie. And I'll also be carrying a camelback vest this time, so I can carry 2 litres of water on my back, 2 on the bike, and be able to ride long stretches without having to worry about resupply. So as you can see, this is my bags now attached to my bike. I'll be using my Pro Caliber mountain bike again, and the same tyres I used for the Atlas mountain race, which were the Vittoria Mezcals. On the rear is my Tailfin with my sleep system, my coats, and that extra space to store that food as I go round the course. As I said, I'm looking forward to testing out how it compares to a saddle pack, because it is pretty stable in comparison and there isn't much movement there. The gearing remains unchanged, 32 chainring up front and then a 1051 cassette on the rear. Does need a little clean, but I'm going out on the bike tomorrow and it's going to get filthy again. Up front is my Tailfin top tube bag, which has got all those electronics and bits and bobs I need to have in easy reach during the ride. There's also a little bit of space in there that I can cram some additional food if I want to. Although empty at the moment, I've got 2 stem bags which are still pretty mucky from the Atlas mountain race, so they need a wash. They'll be packed full of food, making it really easy to grab and eat stuff on the go. I am using the SQ Lab mid-bar grips for some additional comfort and a slight aero gain. I'll be sticking with my trusty tried and tested exposure 6-pack, which provides a huge amount of light for an awfully long time, up to 36 hours, which is one of the reasons why I'm taking the smaller power bank rather than the large Anker power bank, which I can use to recharge the light. Of course, my Garmin 530, which I'll be using for navigation, and obviously Stravaing the ride, which is obviously the most important thing. Up front, I've got my famous orange Rafa bar bag, which has got all those tools, spares, and repairs in. As I said, it's been raining in the UK for about 6 months now, so I may leave my front mud guard on just to give me a little bit of protection from spray and mud. So that's the bike. I'm going to take it outside and give it a quick weigh to see how much I'm going to be lugging about. So once again, I'm going to be using my highly accurate luggage scale from Wish to find out how much my bike and kit weigh. What I'm really hoping is it weighs a bit less than the kit I took on the Atlas mountain race. So here we go. And it weighs a total of 19 kilos. So 19 kilos without any water on the bike or my full food supply in my stem bags, but that's still about 3.5 kilos less than what I lugged around the Atlas mountain race. And who knows, if I took that front mud guard off, maybe we'd be down to 15 kilos. Hopefully this has been a helpful overview of the Dales Divide, the kit I'm going to take and the bike I'm going to be riding. I think this is potentially a really good event for someone to dip their toes into the world of ultra cycling or bikepacking races, simply because the organiser provides so much information up front, taking away some of the stress involved in preparing for an event like this. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll soon be able to share with you how I got on.